Live from Orlando, Florida, you're listening to the Orlando Magic HQ podcast, the voice of Magic fans. Join us every week for a unique fan perspective on all of the latest Magic news and updates. The show starts now.
What's up, Magic fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Orlando Magic HQ podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and Bet Online. We're your hosts, Al, myself, Anthony. Today is Sunday morning, March 23rd, and the Magic are getting closer and closer to the postseason, which brings our episode today where we're going to talk about how Kojo stepping up, holding down the point guard position for us, how we feel about seeing him in the starting lineup. Also, the main topic, who's our preferred play-in opponent and first potential matchup in the Eastern Conference first round of the playoffs. So really interesting episode. Not a whole lot going on, but definitely as things end up closing out this season for the Orlando Magic, we start to focus and shift into that postseason. But before we get into today's episode, just a quick word from our sponsor, BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Whether you're a seasoned fan or first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to a $200,000 bracket contest. BetOnline continues to be your number one sport betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Also, don't forget to check out all new episodes of the Zonehead podcast with Brandon and his new co-host, Zach, which are available wherever you download your favorite podcasts, and catch BK live on In the Zone weekdays on 96.9 The Game, starting at 3:30 p.m. The Magic continue to hold down the East seed in the Eastern Conference. Magic have been kind of stuck, in that field, whether it's wins or losses. We take a look at the standings, and we feel pretty confident that that's exactly where the Magic may end up. But regardless, play-in is in sight. And we got a little taste of postseason action when the Magic faced against the Cleveland Cavaliers in what felt like a playoff game, where the Magic ended up, ending the Cavs' 16-game winning streak, which was the longest winning streak in their franchise. Al, I'm gonna send it to you first. Big time national game. Did it feel good to finally get a big win on a nationally televised game?
It was about time, man. We've unfortunately had a really, really rough time with TNT games, ESPN games. But guess what, man? Sunday, ABC, that's a classic for the Magic to show up, especially in a year where, again, things have gone so wrong for us, to, again, beat the Cavs and their 16-game winning streak, and to do it the way that they did it, right? Because it didn't look good early on. It seemed like we were destined into another blowout loss against the Cavs. Like, here we go again. And yet, Paolo, Franz, hey, shout out to AB, by the way, too. He had a great game off the bench. Impressive win. That's all I'm going to say, man. It was an impressive win. In the past week and a half, you've seen the Magic now beat the Milwaukee Bucks at home, the Cavs at home, and it's like, then you don't understand how you lose to the Bulls, to other teams that you should be beating. So that's the only confusing part with this team. But hey, it was impressive. It was needed. I'm glad we got the monkey off our backs, man, because I just watched the Red Sox Yankees, the comeback documentary on Netflix, and he brought back memories of that, like that curse that we've always had with, Red Sox and Yankees for years. Is this the way we finally end that curse with national TV games and us getting blown out in them? Hopefully that's the way that we kind of get past it, because it was long overdue.
Yeah, Cavs team that didn't have Evan Mobley but still had a lot of their heavy hitters. Magic, no Jalen Suggs, no Mo Wagner. So, the Cavs, they don't get a pass because they don't have Evan Mobley, because the Magic aren't fully healthy. I thought that it was a great showing. I think that as we look into the crystal ball of the future, this is a great confidence booster for the Orlando Magic to be able to get a big win against the Cavs. Cavs is the best team in the NBA, the best seasoned team in the NBA as of right now, and the fact that you're able to get this big win is huge. Nationally televised game. When they during their segments of picking who their favorites are to win this game, nobody selected the Orlando Magic. This was a game where Paolo Banchero was doing a lot of talking, which I absolutely love. He had a moment with Ty Jerome that was talking smack to Paolo. Just pretty much telling him, like, if I was on your team, I'd be a starter. And Paolo Banchero just responding back and shut him up, shut him down. And it's good to see, man. Do you like seeing vocal Paolo? Is that something that you care for? Do you feel like it makes a difference?
It's much needed, right? So we keep talking about how we're missing that, like that energy guy. We're missing Jalen. We're missing Mo Wagner. In a way, I've been wondering, like, is this his way of saying, like, hey, like, I got to step it up. I got to be more of a leader. Verbally, I got to be out there and show that, hey, we're not going to get punked around. And I love the attitude. We complained, a lot of us complained back in like January, February. Where's Paolo? Like, he's just seemed down. He seemed kind of disengaged a little bit. That's kind of ended after the All-Star break. We've seen a new Paolo, a lot more vocal, a lot more energized. Even at the last few games, you see him clapping, going to his teammates on the free throw attempts, clapping. Like I said, just seeming like a different person. He really wants to get this team to the playoffs, and that's what we need. So I think this kind of goes in line with that. You're seeing him. We talked about it before we started recording. With the Cavs, seems to be a little more to it. It feels like he feels still like, hey, he's still feeling that loss last year in the playoffs. He doesn't like him. Let's be honest. He does not like him one bit. And I love seeing that. We need, again, this guy to be our leader, to be not only leader with points, with his performance, but also verbally on the court, go out there and represent the Orlando Magic and lead by example. So I have no issues with it. And regarding Ty Jerome, not for nothing, man, but if that's your comeback, I'll be a starter in your team. You're basically saying you're better than Corey Joseph at this moment, which, by the way, shout out to Corey Joseph, which we'll talk about later. But that's not a flex, man. That's not a flex. You're better than a 11-year vet that's here to be a locker room presence. I agree. However, I wouldn't mind Ty Jerome on this team, honestly. He's a good shooter. He's had a great year this year. But just that flex to me seems weird.
Yeah, I mean, what I love is that there does seem to be either more recordings of Paolo Banchero being vocal and talking smack, and the mics are just picking it up, but Paolo's definitely more active, and you want that. Like, Paolo is like a DBZ character. He levels up when he's upset and mad, and we need him to be in that killer instinct mode, because it comes out, man. And Paolo, he doesn't just talk smack, man. That dude backs it up, and he finds ways to definitely hurt the other team on the offensive end. So I love to see it. We need that level of energy. You mentioned it, no Jalen, no Mo, so somebody needs to have that type of swagger and I don't want to say enforcer, but definitely someone to stand there and say, you're not going to punk us, man. And even if we get punched in the mouth, man, we're fighting and we're swinging back. So definitely love to see it. However, the Magic still are continuing to struggle in our home court. We lose that game against the Rockets. Rockets definitely a better team than we've seen recently in the past, but still a tough loss. And then the Magic, they bounce back, and we beat up on a team like the Wizards. This is something, like, that game is really important. The Wizards not a good basketball team. They have a lot going on, but this is a team that you're expecting to win. This is a team that you're expecting to dominate. And the fact that the Magic were able to do that is a really, really good sign. So we've seen some things. Gary Harris is back in the rotation. Jonathan Isaac is playing less. Talk to me now. What are you seeing? What do you think is going on? And is the reason for that?
We talked about it plenty on last week's episode. I still think that Coach Mosley is he's trying to find somebody that's going to give him energy off the bench, who's going to give him something productive. The way he's going about it, though, to me, is a little bit weird, right? Like, Jonathan Isaac is a guy that you're paying $26 million this season. He's supposed to be one of those guys that are your cornerstone, your guys that you're building around. I don't get it, man. Against the Rockets in the second half, he did well in the first half. Like, they couldn't score against him, and yet we didn't see him in the second half. And against the Wizards, we didn't see him at all until the fourth quarter started. So I'm not sure if there's more to that story. Is there maybe some injury related issues? Is there maybe a, hey, you're not playing well, so I'm not going to play you until you kind of bounce back out of it and snap out of it? I just feel like guys like that, man, you just cannot put through that. Their confidence is going to get shot. But at the same time, he checked into the game, and right away the Wizards were driving past him like nothing. Like I don't know what the issue is with JI, but he just seems two steps behind what the team is doing defensively. He'll still block a shot. He'll still, get some putbacks. True. Offensively, he's not even close to who he was last year. Defensively, he seems, again, a step slow. So I can't blame mostly for it. I just wish that, again, we're heading into April here, man. You cannot be playing this like, let me find my guy at this moment. You have to have a rotation. You have to trust your guys. And you got to ride those guys and live or die with them. That's just my thinking on it. So it's been weird for sure. But what are your thoughts on the JI situation? Because, again, it seems like lately he's not getting the same amount of minutes that he was getting before, which, by the way, weren't that many, right? He was getting 15, 14 minutes. But still, to the fact that he's not even getting, even 10 minutes a game at this moment in the last couple games, what does that tell you?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of look at it in a couple of different ways. Like, you take a look at Jonathan Isaac. In my opinion, this season has not been a good season for him in terms of what he's able to provide. He's had better seasons in the past. Last year was a year, although riddled with injury, we still felt like, this is a good, it's NBA, all NBA defense level of defense that we saw from him. And this year, it does seem like he's a step slower. His shot is not consistent. But you can attribute that to a lot of different things. Like, you're looking at Jonathan Isaac, who added weight this year, and definitely that's going to take some time for him to get adjusted. And I feel like he hasn't really caught up to that adjustment. But you take a look at the other side of it. Jonathan Isaac has played 62 games this season. Last season, in total, he played 58. The year before, 11. The year before that, he didn't play. The year before that, he didn't play. Jonathan Isaac hasn't hit the 60-game mark since his second year in the NBA. So the fact that he's lasted this long is a huge deal to his personal development. I'm sure it's a high personal goal for him, and for the Magic as well. You mentioned he signed that extension. I don't see this more than just the Magic looking to find a way to preserve him for the postseason, because that's where the money is where it's meant to be worth. Like, what Jonathan Isaac is able to provide and what we know he's able to provide is X factor level of basketball that we need. That's contribution that we need from him. Especially now more than ever that, the Magic are going to go into this postseason without Mo Wagner. So I'm not concerned with Jonathan Isaac in terms of him ramping up his play, because there's no way that you do not play Jonathan Isaac more in the postseason. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah, I'm looking at his stats right now, and in the past 10 games, he's played over 10 minutes, 4 times. But in the last 4 games, he has not played 10 games. He's averaging 3.8 points, 2.9 rebounds, 11 minutes in the last 10 games. So performance-wise, it's not there. But again, it's weird to see the minutes decline instead of going up. Like, he was trending at 15 to 18 a game. Lately, it's around, let's call it 9 minutes a game in the last 4 games. So hopefully, if it was injury related, whatever it was, hopefully he'll get back from it. We need it, man. Without JI, we don't go far. We know this team's already down 2 great players at this moment. We cannot afford for JI to not be, number one, consistent, and number 2, a guy you can rely on off the bench heading into the playoffs, the play-in. So hopefully he'll find his rhythm, because, again, we'll need him big time.
Yeah, Cole Anthony in and out of the lineup. Dealing with injuries himself. Corey Joseph stepping in, our third string point guard stepping in to hold down that point guard position. And Kojo, he's been playing well. So obviously the big debate that everyone has had that we've discussed is, we wanted Coach Mose to kind of hand those reins over um, to Anthony Black, who we know has played multiple different positions this year. What are your thoughts on how Coach Mose has been utilizing Kojo and how the team has looked with Corey Joseph running the point guard?
I mean, I think I tweeted this on Friday during the Wizards game. Kind of jokingly, kind of not, but it's Corey Joseph, the new DJ Augustine for the Orlando Magic. Like this guy that we pick up, we really don't expect much from, and yet, he's playing well. But it goes to show you how badly we needed a guy to just organize the offense. Because one thing that he does is he brings the ball up, he doesn't make mistakes, and he just hits the open three. That's the extent of the role that he has with the Orlando Magic right now. Is go out there, bring the ball up, don't make mistakes, organize the offense. And I've been impressed, to be honest with you. He's not doing anything crazy. He's not doing anything, that would catch you and be like, oh my God, like he's killing it out there. Not really. But to see him, score almost double digits every game as a starter, to see him, average 3-5 assists. And the biggest thing is he's getting the ball to Paolo and Franz in the right positions, in the right situations. That's huge for us. Another big thing is, like I said before, not turning it over. You got guys like again, I love Cole Anthony. He's one of my favorite players on this team. But one thing with Cole has always been he cannot organize an offense. He cannot take care of the ball at times when it matters most. With Corey Joseph, you don't have that issue. So I've been impressed with him. I've been happy with what he's provided to us. Is he our long-term solution? For sure, no. Like he's only playing because, of course, Jalen Suggs is out. But what's intriguing is when Cole Anthony does come back, what do you do with him? Is he a guy that you just again put him as a 13th man on the bench and you play him when needed? He's been doing what he's supposed to do out there. So, two questions for you: thoughts on what he's done so far, performance wise, and number two, what do you do when Cole Anthony comes back? Is he a guy that you just slide back into as a third string point guard?
Yeah, I think that you do have to slide him back. Cole Anthony, you have to give it to him. Like you're without Jalen Suggs going into the postseason. Corey Joseph is not scaring anybody. Not saying that Cole Anthony will, but Cole Anthony, although his play is not at your traditional point guard level of play, and that's the benefit that Kojo is able to bring. Cole Anthony still helps the team from a rebounding standpoint. Offensively, he can do damage to you. It's not as consistent we want him to be, but at the very least, he is somebody that can still hurt the team offensively. I really do like what Corey Joseph has done. He's averaging 36% from behind the 3-point line. Obviously, not a whole lot of minutes coming from him, but definitely still a consistent shooter for us. And it's something that, again, we talk about like the success that he's had while he's been starting. Is it Corey Joseph, or is it the fact that that's just the type of point guard that this team needs? So I've liked what I've seen from him. Is he the person that we need to put everything on as we go into the postseason? No, absolutely not. But this is no Jalen Suggs. I would imagine that he didn't even realize that he'd be playing as much as he is.
Yep.
But it's good that you have a player like him. I joked around the other day and called Corey Joseph our this year's Joe Ingles, but he's added a lot of he's contributed a lot to this team. He doesn't make errors, and he hits a 3-point shot. It's what you need from a player like Corey Joseph.
Yeah, I think that the thing I like the most is that he'll shoot the open threes, which we need, and he'll make a decent amount of them. So I think that for Paolo and Franz, who again keep getting double team, triple team, you need that guy to at least demand some sort of respect out there. And he's doing just that. And like I said earlier, giving them the ball in the right situations, that's also very important. But I'll add one more element to this, and that is kind of the resurgence, once again, of Anthony Black, who has been playing better as of late. So looking at his stats since Cole Anthony went down with this injury, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Most importantly, shooting 43% from the three-point line. Now, mind you, not a lot of attempts, but he is making them. So good to see AB again kind of say, hey, I'm here. Don't forget about me. I know we've been critical of him at times because, again, we expect more from him in this particular moment. Well, I mean, think back to when we drafted him. The idea was we needed a playmaker. We needed a guy that can give the ball to Paolo, Franz, and our new core in the right situations. He was a playmaker out of college. That was his biggest strength. We have seen that here and there. Unfortunately, with Paolo and Franz, he hasn't been a good fit because he cannot shoot the ball. That's just the reality of it. But lately, again, he's making threes. So I think if he can continue to do that, he's a guy that heading to the playoffs, you may count on off the bench to again give you something at the very least. The thing with him, in my opinion, is consistency, number one. Number two, aggressiveness. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to look to go to the basket, to shoot the open threes, not be afraid because we need more from him. We don't need him to just be a playmaker. But what are your thoughts on AB in this last, week and a half, 2 weeks since Cole went out?
Our biggest issue with AB has always been when he's out there, there's so many times that it looks like he's just being timid, passive. And I've definitely seen a more aggressive side to him. Anthony Black, he's such a big guard with really good handles, and it's not at the level of Markelle Fultz in terms of like craftiness and penetration to the lane, but he finds a way to be able to really hurt teams that way, and he has really good speed for somebody his size. So I love what I've seen. We need that consistently because we're needing that offensive push from the bench. So us being able to see that consistently is going to help fill a lot of the void that we've needed. Last year, we're a team that had one of the best second units in the NBA. This year, we haven't even seen a glimpse of that, right? Injuries, obviously, a big part of that. But this is a different Anthony Black than what we're used to seeing last year. So I've liked what I've seen. Now we need to see that transition into the postseason and really see how that impacts, our games and our matchups which leads me to our next conversation. Who is your preference when it comes to the play-in? Who do you feel most comfortable going against? And then if and when we do get to the postseason, we're officially in the playoffs, who's your preferred matchup? Is it Cleveland? Is it Boston? Who would you prefer the Magic go up against in that first round?
Well, let me start by saying I really hope we get a 7th seed, just because that would give you home court advantage for game 1, which let's assume at this moment would be against the Hawks. And then say you lose that game, then you go and face either the Bulls or the Heat, also at home. So, you're kind of giving yourself that benefit of the doubt. Like, hey, something goes wrong here. We don't want to be in the play-in, but now that we are, at least we got home court advantage for these 2 games. So that's one. And also selfishly, I want to go to these games. I want to be in person watching this playing games. But say we advance. Again, back to my same theory. I want us to get a 7th seed. I feel like facing the Boston Celtics, while I think the outcome is known, I don't see us beating either the Cavs or the Celtics. I'm a big-time Magic fan. You guys all know that. But let's be realistic. We're not at full strength this season. It's going to be a rough first round matchup. And all I can ask this team to do if they face the Cavs or the Celtics, win 2 games. I think that for me would be sufficient. You did what you could, a bunch of injuries. You made the series competitive, played a couple home games. You gained more experience. Let's go into the offseason and let's build this team the right way around Paolo, Franz, and Jalen. But talking about matchups. So say we advance. Again, I think the Celtics is a team that I want to face, and you may ask why. They're the reigning NBA champions. It makes no sense. I feel like the Cavs have our number, and the reason why is they have 2 incredible interior defenders in Jarrett Allen and Mobley that put a lot of pressure on Franz and Paolo when they attack the rim. And guess what? That is our strength. Our strength is giving the ball to Paolo and Franz and saying, "Hey, go attack the basket, kick out to the open shooter." Hopefully, they'll make it. Franz has struggled against the Cavs. Don't forget Game 7 last year. Don't forget about a few games back early in the year. He struggled big time against them. So it is because of that. When he gets to the basket, it's not an easy finish. He has to add a little English to that layup, to that finish to make it. So when it comes to that, I prefer us to go against Al Horford, Porzingis. It's not going to be easy. But I also think we match up better when it comes to defense. You put Franz on Tatum. You put Paolo on Brown, whatever it may be. KCP on Drew Holiday, I feel like we just match up better against them. That's just my opinion. So give me the Celtics. It's not going to be easy. There'll be a ton of Celtics fans at this Magic games, unfortunately, because there's a bunch of New England people that live in Orlando. They usually take over the Kia Center. Hopefully, Magic fans won't sell those tickets, so we have some sort of home court advantage. But that's me. I think the Celtics is a team that I would like to face. What about you?
I'm the opposite. Get me away from the Boston Celtics. I want Cleveland. I think Cleveland is our best route. Although again, playing the best basketball in the NBA, number one team in the NBA, you're gonna have to prove it. Magic already getting a taste of that playoff like competition with that nationally televised game. I think that gives the Magic a lot of confidence with or without Evan Mobley. I think the fact that we took them 7 games last season and it's still so recent and so fresh. I think that from a confidence standpoint, the Magic should feel good about Cleveland. And Cleveland, knowing this, they have to take us serious because they've had to battle with us. I like the fact that the Magic. My only concern, right, is that you have the offensive power of Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, Cleveland, they're a really good 3-point shooting team, and then they have a lot of bigs that they can really hurt us. So they can definitely hurt us in a lot of ways. But when I think about the roster that the Celtics have, them being the reigning champions, and I just think that from between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, then you add all Drew Holiday and their defensive pressure, I think the Magic would really struggle against Boston. Really struggle against Boston. And I think that if you go against Cleveland first round, home court is going to feel like home court. We're already comfortable because we've played already multiple national televised games with them. We saw them recently. Definitely a different coaching system, so they're not the same basketball team. But from a comfort level, I'd like to see Cleveland first round against the Magic from a chance perspective, and also because although we're not 100% healthy, we need to get them back for what we went through last year.
I mean, on paper, like the storyline is there. In that case, I do kind of see where the Cavs and the Magic first round again would make a lot of sense. I just feel like our best players won't be able to be at their level. Paolo probably will, but Franz specifically won't be that great kind of Batman or Robin to Batman in this case. So that concerns me, right? You gotta have Franz be an impact player in the playoffs in order for us to have a chance to win some games. So that's where I think the Cavs would make it difficult for us. I think against the Celtics, I can see Paolo average 28, 27. I can see Franz average 23, 25. Against the Cavs, I see Paolo putting on a show. I see France some games struggling to reach 20. And if that's the case, you're putting basically your hopes on KCP hitting threes. Yeah, you got to rely on other guys helping out, which, hey, by the way, this entire season, they haven't done so. So what are the odds they're going to do so in the playoffs? So as we all know, as Magic fans, it's not going to be pretty. We know it's going to be tough, whoever we face. I'm going to say this, and again, it's not the right thing to say because, again, we are basketball fans and we hate to wish injury on no one. That's not what we're here to do. But the only logical way I see the Magic having a chance is if, God forbid, Jason Tatum gets an injury or Donovan Mitchell sprains his ankle and can't play, the first round. That's the only way I can see the Magic kind of heavy. All of a sudden, we have a chance. Don't forget, the Magic are no slouch, man. We are a great team. When we show up and we beat anybody. That's the reality of it. So you never know what could happen this last couple of weeks of the season. But if we are two healthy teams heading into the playoffs, it's going to be tough, man, no matter who we play.
Magic season is almost at its end. We got the Lakers on Monday, Charlotte on Tuesday, Mavericks on Thursday, and then Saturday against Sacramento. So these games are coming by, and they're coming by fast. This Magic game against the Lakers, Dwight Howard gets inducted into the Orlando Magic Hall of Fame. What do you think his reception is going to be like? What are you expecting to hear from that?
Can we just start by saying, why do you pick a game against the Los Angeles Lakers as the game to retire or put him in the Magic Hall of Fame. I think out of all teams, that's the one that makes no sense to me. Do it against, I don't know, a team like the Mavs on Thursday. Do it against the Sacramento Kings on that Saturday, like against the Lakers, really, the team that he left us for, the team that he won a championship with. Come on, man. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But getting past that, I think Magic fans, man, they're over it, right? The same way that we clapped for Shaq when he came back and we did the Hall of Fame for him and we retired his jersey. I think it is what it is, man. It's the past. We cannot forget all the memories, all the things that Dwight Howard did for the city. The fact that we have the Kia Center is because of Dwight Howard. So you got to remember those things, right? And me personally, I mean, I became a diehard Magic fan during that era when Dwight was dominating. Vince got traded to the Magic. So to me, I'll never forget those days. That's when the Magic were at their peak. That's when the Magic were, in my lifetime, they were at their best. So yeah, he left the Magic in a sour note. We regretted the fact that he decided that. He now admits he regrets doing it the way that he did it. So, hey, man, we got to get past it. We got to clap for him. We got to cheer for him. It's his day with the Orlando Magic. I just, again, wish it was not against the Lakers.
Yeah, I get why they did against the Lakers, but like that benefits more the Lakers than it does us. Like, that's the team that he eventually won an NBA championship with his second run. I think that the reception is going to be really good. I think that they've already test trialed that when they had him at the game not too long ago, and he got a good reception with it. So I'm expecting for him to have a standing ovation. I was speaking to some people at work, some customers that I had, and who were diehard Magic fans as well. They felt the complete opposite. So I know that it's still a polarizing topic, but if you don't agree that Dwight Howard should be in the Hall of Fame, I don't know what to tell you. At the very least, like, Dwight Howard deserves a plaque somewhere there. He carried the team on his shoulders for so long, led us to the NBA Finals, gave us our only win in NBA Finals franchise history. So he definitely deserves to be up there, and I think he's going to have a good ovation. I even think, take it a step further, once it's safe to do so, eventually his number should be retired in the rafters right next to Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm sure that Shaquille O'Neal would personally love that.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting, right? But I think he should be, maybe not the next jersey we retire, because I think if you go in eras, it should be Penny, T-Mac, and then Dwight. But as far as like importance of the franchise, you got to basically go with Shaq and Dwight. Those are the two top guys that you've had in your franchise. And soon to be Paolo Banchero, right? Like, if he continues to be with the Magic and keep playing the way that he is, that's Paolo next. So, there's no denying that Dwight Howard, again, the impact that he had on this team, what he's meant to the city, again, the fact that we have a brand new arena, it's because of him. He built what we have today. Let's be honest. I think you got to close the chapter, retire his jersey. And hey, by the way, could this be a reason, to kind of put this era behind and we get a rebrand? I know we haven't talked about this in a while, but the Magic are supposed to have a rebrand at some point. This will make sense. We haven't changed our jerseys since Dwight was here, believe it or not. So I think this could be a perfect way to say, here's Dwight going to the Magic Hall of Fame. Hey, by the way, here's a new rebrand. Here's our new core. Let's turn the page.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great marketing and a good way to finally close that chapter. So hopefully there's been talks and rumblings for so long. Next season's supposed to be the season that we hear something, some tease, some rumor of some sort. But we'll wait to see what happens. So again, Monday Lakers, Tuesday Charlotte, Thursday Mavericks, Saturday against the Sacramento Kings. Magic need to continue to still string some winning games together, and then get ready for the postseason. That's a wrap from us here. I appreciate everyone listening. Show's presented by Bet Online. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
For all the latest Magic news and updates, visit OrlandoMagicHQ.com and follow us on Instagram at Orlando Magic HQ and on Twitter at OMagicHQ. Also, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe and leave a 5-star review on your favorite listening platform.